Hello there folks, and how is it going? And welcome back to another video. And welcome back to the Namib Desert. This place is probably one of my favourite parts of this entire workshop. It is absolutely essential visiting when you come to Namibia. It is gorgeous. The microphone battery ran out, so I don't know if I had it there. Hopefully you can hear me alright. It's absolutely beautiful here, and like the only drawback is that I photographed this a bunch of times, but obviously the folks on the workshop haven't, and that's all good because we are here to share, learn and explore what it is that makes the Namib Desert such a beautiful, beautiful place to visit and to photograph. So we are currently at a very, very classic kind of scene. We are here just in time for sunset. We had a long drive, and we managed to get ourselves here for the sunset, so that's the important part. And yeah, really great. So the aim of the game is long lens, polarizer, and just enjoy the show. It's so beautiful, like so beautiful, as you've seen many times before. So the aim of the game is to shoot this, get back on time, have some dinner, then a good night's rest, and it's up super duper early tomorrow morning for sunrise, and rinse and repeat then essentially for the couple of days that we're here. So if this picture turns out to be any good, oh actually, before I get into that, there is actually some cloud in the sky, and I don't think I photographed the cloud in the sky. Now if that catches a bit of colour, then I think we might be on to a winner. So if this picture turns out to be any good, or the random ones turn out to be any good, then I'm going to pop them up on the screen for you right now, and let's get to exploring the Namib Desert.
Welcome friends to the ASMR Photography Studio, and welcome to the first set of images in this week's video. Now, here we find ourselves overlooking this absolutely wonderful vista that is dune. I think this is 27 as far as I remember. It is just spectacular and a very classic kind of scene, and one that's a big heavy draw when it comes to photographing in the Namib Desert. A truly wonderful image, and one that I am thrilled to start this video off with.
So I'm going to interrupt my classic ASMR photography lab for just a moment, because I was just explaining to the guys here, and it's something I don't think I did the last time I was here, was to walk a little bit further to the kind of west of the frame. So the picture you would have just saw is a very kind of classic scene. We all know and love it. It's absolutely fantastic. But there's two trees down the bottom. And the further kind of west we walk, the more separation we can introduce to those trees. And that is essentially what I am trying to do now. So then it kind of looks like it's trees. Say that 10 times fast as an Irishman. And so let's see if we can move a bit over here where I sent a couple of the guys, and see if we can manage to find just something a bit different. It's just a bit different, you know? So let's see.
Here's the result of the added separation of the trees at the bottom of the sand dune. I actually decided, as you can see, to convert this one into a black and white because I really wanted to emphasize that punch of contrast between the shadows and the brights. And for me, that weaving line that snakes up through the frame is just perfect. I don't know whether you'll notice or not that I did a fair bit of cleanup on the right hand side of the sand dune. There's lots of grass, and there's lots of tufts of grass that kind of pop up out of the sand, and for me it just disrupts the flow of what ultimately this frame for me is trying to convey, and that is one of just kind of symmetry and light and shadow. And you know, obviously these tools are there for a reason, so if I can get rid of tufts of grass, then I'm going to get rid of tufts of grass. But overall, super duper happy with how this image turned out.
So one of the key things about photographing a scene like this is your polarizer, as I mentioned earlier. It is kind of essential when you're here. Obviously you can shoot it without your polarizer, but you can't recreate the effect a polarizer gives. I am going to press record in the camera here now for you. And what we're going to do, let me turn my hat around, very BVS of me, is I am going to twist the polarizer, and I'll obviously overlay the footage here on the screen, and what you'll see is what the polarizer is essentially doing. Oh my god. So when you get it just right, yeah, absolutely makes everything pop. It is gorgeous. So the more I kind of twist it, you can see the effect that it's having on the landscape. And like I say, you can't really recreate that with Photoshop or anything like that. And the polarizer, 100%, hands down, best invention ever. Anyway, we're all having a good time here and everybody's getting on super duper cool. So let's keep shooting. When the light fades, obviously things get darker and deeper, and that's ultimately what we're looking out for. So let's keep our fingers and toes crossed that the tiny wisp of cloud catches some colour. Let's see.
So this is the result of that polarized image. You know, I'm actually really glad that I decided to shoot a wider shot of this vista, because it really helps emphasize the kind of grand nature of these sand dunes, and it's just so wonderful. And again, that beautiful snaking line as it weaves its way to the peak is just magnificent. But you can see on the right hand side how much more punchy and like golden the whole frame is, and that's one thing that a polarizer can really help emphasize. And then obviously in post-production we can then take advantage of that and really kind of flare it as much as you want or as little as you want. It's obviously totally up to you. So I'm really happy with how this image turned out. Now, turning the camera around, always a good thing to do, because when you can capture frames like this, it is just worth it. This is probably one of my favorite images that I've certainly captured in Namibia, let alone in 2025, and then maybe even one of my favorite images that I've ever photographed. I absolutely adore the lines, the layers, the color depth. Everything about this image for me is just so perfect. I absolutely adore this frame. I really do. For me, it's almost like looking at like a graphic, and I love that about it. It's just so perfect. I really adore this image, and could be an absolutely wonderful print if I ever get around to printing any pictures, which I've been saying for years. But sure, look, however, we shall move on.
Well, folks, we come to one of the most breathtaking locations on this entire workshop, and that is Deadvlei. We have been here a few times now at this stage, so while I have pointed people in the direction of the shot, there's a moon behind us, and everybody's trying to, you know, use these wonderful trees to capture the moon before the sun ultimately comes up and kind of, you know, starts to illuminate the loveliness that is the dunes around us. So I am going to try and find a composition or two to frame up that moon before it gets too high. And yeah, but wow, this place is gorgeous. Is that the 4x4 part was like the best fun. I think I lifted all 4 wheels off the ground, so don't tell the boss man. But it was absolutely great fun. We had an absolute blast. So I did win the race too, which was great. But so everybody's just having a good time. Let me turn you around. You can see now there's already a few people starting to stream over the hill. At least I hope you can. But everybody's spreading out, and I try to catch that moon because it is absolutely fantastic. So let's see if we can frame up a moonshot, boys and girls. And if any of these pictures turn out to be any good, I'm going to pop them up on the screen for you right now.
Here's the result of me photographing that wonderful moonrise that we had in Deadvlei. I really like this. Again, one of the beautiful things about photographing in a place like the Namib Desert and in Deadvlei gives you these wonderful opportunities to capture these clean, aesthetically pleasing images. And for me, that tree that comes up out of the ground and the moon just, oh, it's just so wonderful. I absolutely love it. Almost like the tree is reaching up to the moon, just looking to grab it out of the sky. I absolutely adore it. That kind of last golden color in the sky really just makes it for me, and I really adore it for that.
So, in an effort to try and photograph something a bit different this time around, so last time we were here, I probably captured some of my favorite photographs ever. and you know, I was only just saying it to Axel there that I don't think I'm going to do any better, but at least I hope I can. So the frame that I'm looking at right now, I'm lying on the ground, which is probably the only way I'm going to capture this image. And I wonder if you can see, oh no, you can't really. I'll show you. The idea is, and I was saying it to everybody as we were walking over, the key to a place like this, and you need to bear in mind the term simplicity. And I think if you can keep that in mind when you're here, you will absolutely come away with images that you are super duper happy with. Simplicity, and then I suppose as like a kind of side note, separation. While there are lots of trees, let me turn you around. So you see this frame that we're looking at here now. It's beautiful, it's amazing to be here looking at all of this, but it's photographically it doesn't necessarily work because it's so cluttered. Now granted, if I moved around or rolled around on the floor, which I'm probably going to do, you know, you could find something nice and simple and clean. But for me right now, I'm just going to sit and wait because the sun is just about to peep up over Big Daddy, and then hopefully then we'll start to get some light on the dunes behind this composition that I'm looking at right now. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 trees off in the distance. I'm pretty much at about 200 mil. Beautiful. It's so quiet and so beautiful. There are a lot of tourists here, of course, and they're most welcome because it's a beautiful place. But they better not get in my picture. There's people walking around with big, glowing boots. Oh, God. Anyways, okay, the sun's about to come up. So look, if any of these pictures that I take over the next 20 or 30 minutes turn out to be any good, I'm going to pop them up on the screen for you right now.
So this is the example of, you know, trying to capture that simplicity in the frames. Sometimes when you arrive at Deadvlei, it can feel very overwhelming and it can feel very cluttered, and it does take a fair bit of time of you kind of wandering around and trying to find that separation within the trees. Now again, like I said in the ramble where I was lying on the floor, there are kind of the shots, if you will. It's always such a wonderful endeavor to wander around here and really kind of seek out your own compositions, and for me, I really adore how this particular one turned out. Now it actually dawned on me after I photographed this particular frame that I photographed it last year. I think I preferred this one. The light is just stronger. The light and the shadow that's in the background really just kind of help emphasize it a bit. I shot it at a much shallower depth of field as well, just because I wanted to, you know, have a shallower depth of field. For me, it just kind of adds an etherealness to the whole frame that I really do like about it. And then moving on down just to this last image in this set, a nice detail shot. I don't think I've ever photographed any of these trees as a detail frame, and I'm glad that I did because there are some wonderful patterns in the bark of these trees, and it's definitely well worth your time capturing a nice kind of detail image of the shot.
So what an absolutely wonderful experience we had out at Deadvlei. Once again, the place just paints its own pictures. I really love the place. It's just so special. Sorry, I'm inside the car here because of the wind. It's because I forgot the microphone. But we've stopped off. We're cruising now. We had our breakfast. They made us a boxed kind of breakfast at the lodge, and we're just cruising back now, finding some potential compositions for later on this evening, for this evening's sunset. And yeah, just had a really fun morning. Everybody's delighted, everybody's chill, everybody's relaxed. That 4x4 part, I really hope some people recorded it so I can take the footage because it is such a good time. But as I say, everybody's just relaxing now, so we'll just take it easy, go back to the lodge, and then we'll head out then a bit later on this evening after lunch for some sunset fun times. Hopefully we can see some oryx on the way. I promised everybody flamingos and squirrels with very large balls. Didn't get either of those, which is a real shame, but sure, look, what can you do? Anyways, let's get ourselves back to the lodge, relaxed, and we'll see you at sunset. Wow, it is so hot, like very hot. We all went to the pool, which was blessedly cold and wonderful. So we're on the way back to the truck. I'm going to head there now and open up. We're scheduled to leave in about 15 minutes. Basically just going to cruise down the road, hopefully see some oryx, and then just photograph a few spots that we kind of want to stop at. So yeah, so some fun times ahead. Hopefully we can get some nice light like we did yesterday. And the aim of the game, like I say, is just to cruise, take it handy. We're in no mad panic. Another early start tomorrow morning, and so, but look, that's the whole thing. I hope you can hear me. It's quite windy and the microphone battery's dead. But sure, look, gonna head up to the truck, open up the windows, and let's get moving. So we are on the road, finding some of the compositions in the last of this light, and having a wonderful, good time doing it. It's windy, I hope you can hear me, but we are enjoying every second of it. I'll turn you around here. This is one of our trusty steeds. We were photographing this wonderful lone tree over there, and did also photograph a bit further down the way too, so it's been a wonderful tree. We still have plenty more to go, so we'll see what happens. So look, any of these pictures turn to be any good, I'm going to pop them up on the screen for you right now.
So this is a very abstract kind of frame, a very great example of an interplay of light and shadow. For me, it almost looks like the surface of water, and I absolutely love it for that reason. It's such a beautiful representation of a desert. It's just this emptiness. I really love this frame, and it's obviously quite a personal taste opinion, but for me, the simplicity of it, dark gradient coming up from the bottom right as it then leads into this kind of flare of light to the top left is just so beautiful. And of course those wonderful contrasts of the waves of sand that are rippling through that top left of the frame is just so beautiful. I absolutely love it. This particular frame here now is a very classic kind of Namib Desert frame, and I'm super duper happy that I was able to capture an image that I really like of it. When we get onto the next one, you'll see I might prefer the next one, but for me, I have always wanted to photograph this particular scene, and again, like that previous one, all the elements worked at their best this time around for me to, capture this particular frame that I really like. But when we look at this frame, the wider frame, again, like that kind of graphical image we looked at earlier, this is probably one of my favorite images, certainly of last year, and I absolutely adore how the whole thing flows. The balance of the blue and the golden tones and the shadows, oh my god, it's so beautiful. And of course that tree that just sits down there is so perfectly placed. I absolutely love this particular scene. It's so gorgeous. It wouldn't be a desert without a classic kind of sunset shot. It's a bit bleh, this image. I like the fact that the ball is just this, like, almost looks like a meteor falling from the sky as it descends to the horizon, and I absolutely love it. A beautiful contrast, of course, then between the bright and the shadow, as is a theme throughout this video. Such a beautiful sunset, and a very kind of, like, dare I say, African kind of sunset, and I really love it for that. It's just this fiery kind of large ball setting on the horizon, and of course you've then got all this beautiful space below. Beautiful end to that day. So as the next day approached, we noticed off in the distance these flashes, these enticements that led us to rush. I did one piece of talking to the camera and realized I had set the camera to slow motion style. So that's why you're getting a classic ASMR photography lab over some video footage. This morning was probably one of the best mornings I've had photographing in this desert. And you'll see why very shortly, because it was such a beautiful morning. We captured a lightning storm over the dunes. This particular image that we are looking at right now is my interpretation of that scene. Now bear in mind that the lightning strikes that you see here are a blend, so I captured I think about 5 different lightning strikes, and then these 2 were the kind of strongest ones that kind of tied into the scene the best, and I absolutely love this photograph. It's such a rarity to photograph lightning, at least for me anyway, and getting the opportunity to photograph it over this glorious landscape. It was such a treat. Everybody was buzzing that morning. It was so awesome and really great fun. And then of course, the beautiful thing about a passing storm is the light that protrudes afterwards. And this kind of wide letterbox image that I photographed, oh my God, I absolutely adore this image. The gradient from that golden hue across into the blue and oh wow, it's such a wonderful example of diffused light as it kind of creeps across the landscape, and as it then falls off into those massive dunes in the back. It's just such a beautiful landscape. I'm so happy with these two pictures. And then look has it that we of course captured an oryx on the way home, and this is one of the frames that I got of him on his solitude meandering across the dunes. I love this image as well. That we did capture a good different bunch of frames of him as wider shots and with sand dunes in the background, but for me this one just told a bit more of a better story in relation to this guy just having an meander across the desert, and I absolutely adore it for that. Now, it would be remiss of me not to talk about one of the beautiful things that comes with photography workshops, and that are the people that join these workshops. One of the great things that I enjoy is to photograph everybody who's on the workshops, just in kind of situation, if you will, and getting the opportunity, of course, then to photograph them within these sand dunes is really great. So everybody you see in these pictures are my kind of oryx that never showed up, and I just photographing everybody who was on the tour. So it's a really great opportunity to, one, capture other people photographing in the landscape, because you know, obviously they can't photograph themselves in these positions unless they set up their tripod and run really far away. A lot of these images are shot at 400mm. You really get that compression, and it really adds this level of kind of grandeur and scale to the overall scene, and it's such a wonderful thing. And I always am very happy with how the images turn out from the people that are on the tour. And then of course we can't come here and not have a group photograph taken, and I love this picture. It's such a cool picture. We're all pretending to be the dead trees here in Deadvlei and it's really great. I don't know why I'm on the ground. It's great. It's such a wonderful thing to do, and everybody had a good laugh, so it was really wonderful. So if anybody who's in this picture is watching this far, thanks so much for being so awesome and you know, queuing up to take this picture. It's so great. But anyways, onwards we shall go. So folks, it dawned on me after we had our joyous group shot here in Deadvlei that I forgot to record an outro. So here we are recording our outro right now. What an absolutely magnificent place. The Namib Desert is really one of the highlights of the photography workshop down in Namibia, and it's for good reason. I mean, it's just the pictures pretty much paint themselves. It's just magnificent, and I would highly recommend, workshop or no, if you ever have the opportunity to visit, please do, because it's just so magnificent. I will say that today's video is sponsored by Orla and myself, so if you're anyway inclined to join me on a workshop that I am so close to finishing the organization for this year in November, you're most welcome to head over to the website, sign up to the newsletter, or get in touch with me directly if you would like to hold a space there for that, because it's going to be epic. And yeah, it's really going to be awesome. All of the details are down below in the description box if you're anyway inclined for anything. And yeah, so thanks so much everybody. And if you like the video, do please hit that like button. And of course, if you fancy for following along with more of these adventures, you are most welcome to hit that subscribe button. But for now, I will see you all in the next one. Take it easy everybody. Cheers.